Hello, fellow time wanderers. Did you know that in 1838, a war exploded not over borders or thrones, but because a French baker accused Mexican soldiers of smashing his shop and eating his eclairs without paying a dime? It's the kind of tale that sounds like a comedy sketch, but it unleashed cannon fire, cost lives, and reshaped a nation's fate. Today, we're plunging headfirst into the Pastry War, the bizarre 4-month clash between France and Mexico that proves even the silliest grudge can ignite empires. Get ready for diplomatic tantrums, a general who lost his leg to glory, and lessons on how one unpaid bill echoed through decades of conquest. Buckle up. This is history at its most deliciously absurd. If you're hooked on these hidden slices of the past, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. We drop mind-bending deep dives. Picture Mexico in the 1830s, a young nation, barely a decade free from Spanish chains, staggering like a boxer after the bell. Independence in 1821 had been a triumph, but what followed was a whirlwind of coups, rebellions, and street brawls that turned cities into battlegrounds. Federalists clashed with centralists, generals toppled presidents like dominoes, over a dozen leaders in just 15 years. And everyday folks watched their homes and businesses get trampled under marching boots. Foreign merchants, especially from France, poured in hoping for trade gold, only to find their shops looted amid the chaos. Imagine the frustration. You've sailed across the ocean with dreams of silver pesos, and instead you're dodging bullets while revolutionaries smash your windows. This wasn't just bad luck. It was a systemic storm where the government's empty coffers meant no one got paid for damages. French traders, numbering in the thousands by 1830, became the loudest complainers, their letters flooding Paris with tales of woe, and at the heart of it all, a simmering resentment that France, the upstart republic-turned monarchy, saw Mexico as a ripe plum for economic plucking, especially since Mexico slapped high tariffs on French wines and silks, unlike the sweeter deals with Britain and America. But why France? Well, after Napoleon's fall, King Louis-Philippe was rebuilding his Orleans dynasty on a shoestring, eyeing colonies and cash anywhere he could find it. Mexico, with its vast silver mines and growing ports, looked perfect. Yet, without a trade treaty, French goods rotted in Veracruz harbors, while American cotton flooded in duty-free. Grievances piled up like unbaked dough. A French doctor shot in a riot. A merchant's warehouse burned. Even a citizen executed for alleged piracy in 1837. These weren't isolated. They were symptoms of Mexico's feverish instability, where President Anastasio Bustamante, who seized power in a 1837 coup, juggled revolts in Texas and Yucatan just to stay afloat. Eyewitness dispatches from French consul Baron Antoine de Fotis painted Mexico City as a den of anarchy, urging Paris to act. Little did they know, one man's petty beef would light the fuse. Have you ever let a small, slight snowball into something huge? That's exactly what happened next. By 1838, over 70 French claims totaled millions of francs in lost property, exaggerated, sure, but rooted in real raids during the 1828 election riots between rivals Vicente Guerrero and Manuel Gómez Pedraza. Streets ran red with blood, and foreign enclaves like the Parian Market were gutted. French Prime Minister Louis-Mathieu Mole, a sharp-tongued diplomat with a grudge against unpaid debts from Mexico's Texas aid in 1836, bundled these into a monster demand. 600,000 pesos, or about 3 million francs. It was gunboat diplomacy in fancy wrapping pay-up, or else. Mexico, drowning in debt from its own wars, laughed it off as colonial bullying. Bustamante's reply, a curt nan. The stage was set for the spark that would bake this mess into infamy. Enter Monsieur Remontel, the unlikeliest villain or hero in this farce. A French immigrant with a flair for flaky crusts, he set up shop in Tacubaya, a leafy suburb of Mexico City, around 1828. His patisserie was a haven, buttery croissants, cream-filled profiteroles, the works a taste of Paris amid the dusty plains. But late one riotous night in December, as Guerrero's forces clashed with Pedraza's loyalists, a band of drunken Mexican officers, allegedly from the elite guard, stumbled in. Accounts very Remontel swore they trashed the place, guzzling sweets and smashing ovens in a sugar-fueled rampage, leaving his dream in ruins. Mexican records. They claim the officers just dined and dashed, refusing to pay a modest bill of a few pesos. Either way, the damage was done. Ovens cracked, displays shattered, and Remontel's livelihood reduced to crumbs. Furious, Remontel didn't slink away. Yet, Remontel's tale wasn't alone. It crowned a pyramid of pettiness. French tailors claimed unpaid uniforms for Santa Anna's army. Vintners mourned torched cellars. Even a hermit's hut got vandalized for 10,000 pesos. These fed France's narrative of Mexico as a chaotic debtor state, ripe for a lesson in respect. Defidus, the consul, shuttled ultimatums between Mexico City and Veracruz. His letters, preserved in French archives, dripping with sarcasm. Your Excellency, surely a great nation won't quibble over a humble patissier. Bustamante, buried in Yucatan, revolts, stalled. By July 1838, patience snapped. Louis-Philippe greenlit the fleet. As sails dotted the horizon, Remontel Mitov toasted with pilfered champagne, never dreaming his grudge would echo with cannon roar. What small act in your life could spark something epic? The build-up was electric. French newspapers hyped it as La Vengeance Day patisseries, cartoons showing bakers storming beaches with baguettes. In Mexico, whispers of invasion stirred patriot fires. Bustamante rallied troops, but his treasury echoed hollow. International eyes turned. Britain, France's rival, watched warily. America, fresh from Texas grabs, sent a schooner to assist the blockade, smelling opportunity, and Texas. Smugglers ran flour from Corpus Christi, birthing the cheeky name Flour Bluff. It was theater on a global stage, all from one man's sticky-fingered officers. But soon, the laughs would fade under smoke and shot. Fast forward to autumn 1838. Paris buzzes with war drums muffled in velvet. Mole, the prime minister, with a knack for turning slights into strategy, dispatches Rear Admiral Charles Baudin, a grizzled veteran of Napoleonic seas, with 26 warships and 3,000 Marines. Their mission: blockade Mexico's Gulf ports from Yucatan to the Rio Grande, choke the life out of trade, and if needed, pound Veracruz into submission. Baudin's orders, leaked in diplomatic cables, were blunt. Capture the fortress of San Juan de Ulua. Make them beg. No full invasion, just enough iron to bend spines. On November 27th, the Armada ghosts into Veracruz harbor, a steel wall against the sunset. Mexican sentries gape. Church bells toll alarm. Bustamante, in Mexico City, fumes over telegrams. This is piracy masked as justice. He thunders to aides, but his hands are tied. Texas rebels nip at borders. Yucatan whispers secession. He declares war on December 3rd, but it's bluster. His army, 3,200 strong, under General Mariano Arista, hunkers in Veracruz's forts, low on powder. French envoys shuttle ashore with ultimatums. Pay the 600,000 pesos in 24 hours, or face fire. Defatus. Ever the showman adds flair. Refuse, and history will mock your pastry pilferers. Bustamante stalls, buying time with vague promises. Meanwhile, civilians evacuate Veracruz, families clutching icons, carts groaning under belongings. As thunderclouds gather, the air thickens with salt and dread. Sailors on French decks polish guns, muttering about those thieving greasers. Was this justice, or just greed in tricolor sails? December 5 dawns crisp. Baudon signals attack. Cannonballs scream from the fleet, slamming San Juan de Ulua, a brooding stone sentinel guarding the harbor. Mexican gunners reply, but their forts crumble under 200 gun barrages. Flames lick the battlements. Screams pierce the din. By nightfall, French Marines storm ashore, bayonets flashing, seizing the fortress in a blur of powder, smoke, and blood. Casualties mount, 30 French dead, twice that wounded. Mexicans lose 200, their defenses shattered. Veracruz cowers, its grand facades scarred, trade halted cold. News races to Mexico City via galloping couriers. Bustamante slams fists, vowing revenge. But privately, he knows the math. France's navy dwarfs his, a David without a sling. Enter the wild card, Antonio López de Santa Anna, the eagle-eyed general exiled to his hacienda after Texas humiliations. Sense redemption in the chaos. Diplomacy flickered like a dying candle. British Minister Charles Elliot, ever the mediator, urges talks. London fears French overreach, sparking a new world scramble. American observers on the USS Woodbury cheer the blockade, eyeing Mexican weakness. Texan smugglers thrive, dumping abandoned flour to skirt patrols. Bowdoin's blockade bites deep. Mexican exports, cochineal dye, silver, rot in holds. Famine whispers in ports. French Prince de Joinville, Bowdoin's dashing nephew, leads raids on Arista's outposts, his letters home gushing with boyish thrill. The Mexicans fight like fiends, but our shells sing sweeter, yet cracks show. Disease festers in French ranks, yellow fever claiming souls. The war, meant quick, drags into weeks of stalemate. Bustamante prays for winter storms, Baudon for a white flag. In this tense ballet, one man's charge would tip the scales. Veracruz, the gateway to Mexico's heart, now a cauldron. French shells rain like iron hail, cratering streets and toppling haciendas. Civilians huddle in cellars, children wide-eyed at the roar. Boom after boom, echoing like Judgment Day. Arista's men, brave but outgunned, snipe from rooftops, their volleys splashing harmlessly into surf. Joinville's assault on Arista's residence, a midnight farce. Marines splash ashore, only to find the general fled, leaving maps and a half-eaten tamale. Laughter ripples through French ranks, but it's gallows humor. Grapeshot claims legs and lives. Eyewitness sketches from French officers depict the horror. Corpses swell in the sun, the sea red as wine. Mexico bleeds but doesn't break. Q. Santa Anna, the chameleon of Mexican politics. Hero of Tampico, goat of the Alamo, now a sidelined rancher at Manga de Clavo. Word of the invasion reaches him via a dusty rider. His eyes gleam. "My country calls," he declares to his wife, dusting off his uniform. Without Bustamante's nod, he rides to Veracruz, surveying French lines from hilltops, cigar clenched. "They think us soft as our tortillas," he scoffs to aides. Rallying 1,000 ragtag troops, farmers, deserters, the desperate, he launches guerrilla jabs, ambushes on supply carts, night flares, to spook ships. But the big play? February 24th, 1839, a feint to draw fire, buying time for reinforcements. As grapeshot whistles, a ball shreds his left calf, agony drops him. Surgeons, by lantern light, he gasps through pain, turning torment to myth. The leg becomes legend. Buried with full honors in a glass coffin, flags, salutes, a nation's gaze, Santa Anna milks it masterfully. Propaganda sheets flood cities, the eagle's wing clipped by French tyrants. It unites fractious Mexico, shaming Bustamante into action. French medics, patching their own, whisper admiration. "This one's no coward." Baudin, respecting the grit, pauses, assaults, disease ravages his fleet, 90 dead to fever alone. Genville's dispatches home mix bravado and doubt. Victory tastes of bile. These Aztecs die hard, skirmishes flare, cavalry clashes on dunes, Marines repelled at Alvarado. But the blockade holds, starving Veracruz. Santa Anna, propped on crutches, dictates fiery letters. France will pay for this peg, his wound, not just flesh, but a badge, forging his comeback. Imagine, one cannonball reboots a dictator's destiny. Does pain forge heroes, or just better stories? By March, exhaustion creeps in. French ships list with sick, Mexican granaries empty. Smugglers from Texas, Corpus Christi's flour runs, sneak basics, but it's drops in an ocean of want. International pressure mounts. Britain, fearing dominoes in Latin America, dispatches Elliot to broker peace. End this pastry farce. He urges both sides. Baudin, low on morale, agrees to talks. Santa Anna, hobbling into the fray, demands terms. Withdraw now, or face guerrilla hell. The air shifts from acrid smoke to tentative olive branches. Yet, under it all, unpaid debts simmer, a bitter aftertaste. March 9th, 1839, aboard HMS Grampus in Veracruz roads, pens scratch the Treaty of Tacubaya. Elliot presides, a neutral fog of pipe smoke. Mexico yields 600,000 pesos to French claimants. Remontels, 60,000 included, plus trade pledges for lower tariffs. No territory lost, but the sting. Rebuild Veracruz's battered docks, forfeit months of customs gold. France sails home triumphant, flags snapping, total cost, 121 casualties, a Pyrrhic pastry prize. Baudin toasts to the baker's honor, but privately laments the fever's toll. Mexico pays in installments, but defaults loom. Bustamante's regime crumbles under war debt, paving Santa Anna's 1841 coup. The general peg-legged icon rides the wave. I saved the nation with my blood, yet victory's hollow. Those pesos, funneled to cronies, leaving French merchants snarling Remontel, fades into obscurity. Did he rebuild or flee richer? Historians digging through old letters see the war as just the beginning. Napoleon III's 1860s invasion led to bloodshed in Mexico until Juarez won in Iba-Lotzi. Gunboat diplomacy's blueprint. Use sea power to twist arms without boots on soil. Echoes in Yankee gunboats on the Yangtze British squeezes in China. For Mexico, it's a scar, economic gut punch, Pre-Mexican-American War, where lost territories dwarfed any pastry plot. Santa Anna's leg, dug up twice, once by U.S. invaders in 1847 as a trophy, reburied in 1926 national pomp. A macabre footnote to glory. What lingers? The absurdity, empires clashing over cream puffs, yet birthing real empires. France flexed muscle in the Americas, testing Monroe Doctrine toes. Mexico learned bitter resilience, its chaos forging federal steels. Imagine alternate crumbs. If Remontel shrugged, or Bustamante paid prompt, would Maximilian's throne crumble unborn? Or Texas stay Mexican? These what-ifs tease history's whimsy. So, there you have it, the pastry war. From one baker's rage in Tacubaya to cannonades shaking Veracruz, a whirlwind proving grudges, great and small, can redraw maps. Key takeaways. Nations are fragile as phyllo dough. Economic tweaks mask power plays, and heroes like Santa Anna rise on wounds as much as wins. It whispers warnings, ignore foreign claims, and blockades follow. Exaggerate slights, and wars bake. Mysteries remain. Was Remontel's tale tall or true terror? Did Louis-Philippe chuckle at the irony? Ponder these over coffee. What modern pastry might spark tomorrow's storm? I'd love your takes below. Ever heard a wilder war origin? Drop it in comments. Let's chat history's quirks. If this deep dive delighted, like, share, and subscribe for more unearthed epics. Until next time, keep questioning the past. It shapes our now. Adios, history hunters.